All right, everyone. Here we are. We are going to begin creating our new design for our apartment building. For those of you in the first class who made the request, you guys were hoping. Well, you guys were hoping I was going to do a couple of the voices for you when I was on the recordings. So I suppose I want to try a little bit of a shot at this. I did also have a request during this second class to keep up the British accent for about as long as I could. I gave it about 20 minutes before I finally gave out. So here we go. We're gonna start off with this. Hopefully, all of you got up to this point on your creating your existing information in the file number. Right now, we're looking at the floor plan. It's this layout tab where we've pre-configured all the plot settings and all the plot layouts. So in order to make it a little bit easier to work on the file base, and the mouse is jumping everywhere. Okay, click on model. All right, and as you can see now, we've got those big fat lines that we were working on. So one of the things I want to do that's going to help make things a little easy in some ways, at any rate. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to highlight it's so hard for me to keep that up. I'm going to bail on it now, guys. Sorry. I'm going to highlight my filter and my layers. I'm going to show all my existing layers. I'll just click over here on any one of these layers right now and hold down the control key. I will select all my layers and I'm going to lock them. Now, I don't know if you guys saw what happened on the screen, but take a look at the layers themselves when I lock them or unlock them. Click over here. Let's unlock them. You'll see those layers pop up and become kind of bright. And when I lock the layers, those layers will go dim. This will let me know that those layers are locked and I cannot modify them or change them. I can still use them for extend commands or something like that. I'm going to look at my new construction layers and I'm going to make, where is it, A wall in. I'm going to make this my new current layer. So I can either highlight it in the list and click on the green checkbox, or I can just double click on it right here. And you can see the little green checkbox right there lets me know this is my current layer. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start laying out my apartment, or laying out my apartment design. And unfortunately, I think I left my flash drive. I think I left my flash drive at the computer lab, so I don't have a hard copy or a print on anything. So I'm doing this kind of by scratch, kind of by memory. So here we go. I'm going to start by coming off of this 12 feet, and I'm going to come straight down across like that. And I'm going to offset that 5 inches like that. Let's see what was next on that particular layout. The next thing was a closet. So I'm going to offset 24 inches and then another 5 inches. So any standard interior wall. And sometimes you'll hear partition. There's a little fuzziness on when and when where they're applicable. If you're talking to someone who works in systems furniture, like office cubicles, a partition is the barrier between two cubicles. There's no drywall component in it whatsoever. Whereas for some people, a partition is an interior non-load bearing wall that has studs and sheetrock. So it's a terminology thing, and it's not always clear as to when one is used and when one isn't used. Let's see, what's the next thing? The next thing is going to be my bathroom. So I'm going to offset 5 feet. Okay, if that's going to be, let's see, how am I going to do that? Okay, so this middle wall is going to be a plumbing wall. So I need to take those two lines and I'm going to move it over 2 inches. So this is what I'm doing. An interior wall that does not contain plumbing. And for plumbing is going to be a drain that's going to be like toilet size. You can get drains for a sink, whether it's a kitchen sink or a bathroom vanity sink, or even a bathtub. You can get those drains in a wall that we've drawn at 5 inches, but the big one that you have to worry about is a toilet. A toilet needs a much wider sink. Okay, so there's that. Offset, no, not 5 feet, offset 5 inches. And what I'm doing, this seems a little weird because you're saying, well, if this whole thing is the bedroom and that whole thing is the closet and that whole thing there is the bathroom. It's like, no, but I'm using my lines just to sketch things out. I don't want to get exact, perfect total sizes just yet. That's going to come a little. It's going to come in a little later. I'm going to come here. I know I'm going to need my plumbing fixtures right here. So I'm going to change to my plumbing fixture layer, and I will have a list of the layers and all the items that go on those layers. I'll try and have that posted on Blackboard, hopefully before the night is done. So I'm on my plumbing fixture layer, and I'm going to open the blocks that I created and saved. And here is my bathtub. Here we go. Drag and drop. And I'm just going to snap to it right there. Now, those of you who see this is normal behavior. Don't think anything weird is going on. At this point, AutoCAD is asking right down here, says, what's the scale factor? Most of these blocks, with few exceptions, you use at a scale factor of 1, so we can accept the default. We want the Y scale factor and the Z and the X scale factor to be the same, so we'll accept the default again. And now you can either left click on this axis, you can snap on a point to establish an origin. Right now its default rotation angle is 0, and my cursor is at 0 degrees, so I can push return because that's the default, or I can actually key in 90 degrees if I wanted my bathtub going that way. I'll just left click right here. So there's my bathtub. And I'm going to put my shower head in. Here's my shower head. And the shower head goes right there. Just like that. There's your shower head. Put my toilet in. Now, a toilet, typically speaking, if you want this type of a layout, and you heard me mention it in class, it's probably one of the most efficient and common residential bathroom layouts like ever. So you can see I've started my object tracking. I haven't left clicked yet. You can kind of see that little green square in there. But right now I'm going to drag this down 18 inches, and there's my toilet. And now what I want to do is I want to draw in my cabinet for my the cabinet for my lavatory and my bathroom. So I want to change layers, A floor millwork, MLWK. That's all the cabinetry. Whether it's an upper cabinet or a lower cabinet doesn't really matter. And I'm going to start by drawing a line. I'm going to hover over this point to get my object tracking, and I'm going to type 36 inches, come down, I'll go across 24, and then down 36. And it just so happens that this point right here is going to be where the wall takes off and begins going horizontal. So I'll switch back to my wall layer. And this is one of those things that I've just, how do I know these distances and dimensions? I've just been doing it that long. So L for line, and I want to come all the way back over here and come all the way across. And you'll notice I'm extending beyond what I actually need. I'm going to clean this up. It's easier to do a little more than what you need and then trim things out than don't try to draw everything perfect and exact as you're doing it the first time. I promise you this way goes quicker. I'm going to start my offset command. I'm still set to 5 inches, so that's fine. Press return. I'm going to offset that. Use my trim command. What do I want to use for my cutting objects? I want everything to be a cutting object right now, so I'll just press return. And I just want to cut all these off like that. And that'll do for now. Come to think about it, right over here, if I'm remembering my layout correctly, right over here is where I had my washer dryer. Now, one of the things I mentioned is that we need a minimum of 5 feet for corridor clearance. That's technically it's a commercial construction thing. Some of those standards might apply in a apartment complex. Not to mention having 5 feet. It's really super open, wide is a comfortable corridor to go through. So let's see. I'm going to see if I can do this. Offset 5 feet. No, it won't let me use that as an align to offset. So I'll just draw a line from here down to there. Offset that 5 inches. I'm going to offset 5 feet. So I want that to be 5 foot clear. Now I'm going to take that line and offset another 5 inches down. I apologize, you guys are probably hearing the dog in the background. Going to check the distance on that, and that distance is 3'6". That's 42 inches. It's a little more than what I really need. So I'm going to stretch this down a little. Use my S for stretch. I'm going to stretch right through here and bring it down 6 inches. Okay, there we go. So F for fillet. And I'm just going to clean this corner up. Clean that corner up. You guys have probably noticed I don't have that dynamic tracking or the dynamic cursor where all the commands and everything are being shown at my crosshairs. In a previous video, I turned that off. I'm going to turn that back on just for a moment so you can see what's going on. I said that the necessary clear space for washer and dryer is going to be like 5 foot by 3 foot, and for the mechanical closet is going to be like 5 foot by like 30 inches or give or take. So we're going to play around with that a little bit. Offset 5 feet. And you notice because this is 5 feet deep and this is 5 feet deep, these walls are going to line up, and that's just one of those, hey, wow, it's kind of a happy coincidence. Offset again, 5 inches this time. I'm going to go right there. And because I want another 3 foot by 5 foot pocket in here for my mechanical stuff, I'm going to highlight both of these objects with my copy command, and I'm going to copy them over from here to here. Those of you who want to know how to view distances, how to measure distances, you can come up here to measure, use the whole drop down and say I want a distance, and I want my distance clear on the inside of this, and you can see that says 5 feet. And do I want to do it again? Yeah, I'll do it again. I'll go from here across and up, and that's 5 feet, and I'm down now, so I can come down and click exit. Okay, now I'm doing something a little unusual. I have this point is going to be kind of strange. I don't want to take this wall and extend it all the way across to here. This area right here, that's actually going to be my bedroom in this particular design layout. So I'm going to create an arced, a circular wall, just because I want to. But I still want that 5 foot clear right over here, so I'm going to create a 5 foot circle. Now this intersection is going to be the beginning of my 5 foot away from here, and I'm going to extend out to that point. So I'm going to create an arc. I'm going to do this with my icon so you can see how I do this. Come here, and where is it? Start, end, and direction. So the start point is here. End point I'm going to put here. And then my direction, I'm just going to drag it down like that. Now I still want 5 feet across here. And how do I get that to work? So offset 5 feet. See, that may or may not work for my mechanical closet. I may need to modify some dimensions here, but we'll get to that. So I'll go ahead and delete that. And offset 5 inches. And let's go ahead and clean that up. Now at this point I could decide that I don't want an arc just because it's going to be kind of difficult to construct. I mean, don't get me wrong, it looks kind of cool, but it is going to be difficult to create. So maybe I'll do an angle, just do an angled wall there instead of an arc wall. Well, you know what? This is my apartment. I'm gonna put that in there as an arc. Offset that, and now I'm going to clean up all these corner conditions here. Now I'm going to show you guys a little something. Some of you may have seen me doing this in class. I really don't know. I didn't bring a lot of attention to it. But there's a command called break. And I don't even see it up here in modify. Let's drop down. I don't know, is that it? That might be it. No, that's lengthen. Well, I'm just going to teach you the shortcut for it. BR for break. And what you can do is if you select on an item, especially like a line like this one, if I click on the line, it will instantly begin cutting the line at that point. And then my next mouse click, it's going to delete everything between that first click and this next one. So I can click on that right there. And now I can use my fillet command to fill it and fill it. Now, that's one way of doing it. Undo those last commands. Another way to do it is TR for trim. Press return at this point to select everything because I want all objects to cut all other objects. And I can just trim that out that way as well. So that's just another way of doing the exact same thing. Okay, I want to get my I want to get my lavatory in there, but I want to make sure I'm on the right layers. So I'm going to click on Make Current, and so if I select a plumbing fixture, now my current layer is instantly the plumbing fixture layer. So that's kind of helpful, a helpful little tool. Nope, not appliances. I'm not there yet. And where am I at? Where am I at? Where am I at? What was I looking for? Lavatory. I want an elliptical one. There we go. Now to make sure he's centered on my millwork, there we go. And return. There we go. All right, I may have to fine tune some of this over here. Yeah, that's just not looking right. Something's up. I can't remember what it was either. Oh well, we'll get it figured out. I don't think my my radius was that deep in my previous version. But let's move to my furniture layer. Oh, where's my furniture layer? My furniture layer is not there. Okay, let's see. Oh, non-XREF. I want to see everything that's here. Oh my goodness, my furniture layer is not here. Okay, well I know it happens to be the same color as my overhead layer. So I'll create a new one. And new. All I have to do is change the line type. There we go. Double click it to make it current. Set my filter back to new construction. There we go. Now, instead of appliances, I'll back up. And yes, these are the blocks that I shared with everybody. If you haven't already downloaded them, they're on Blackboard. Furnishings, beds, on a king-size bed. And to make sure that he's centered in the room, I'm going to have to put a temporary line in here. So I'm going to accept its default size of 1, but I'm going to change its rotation and angle down. And I'm just going to draw a temporary line from here to here. And that does seem awfully dark blue. That color might not be right. I'm going to move from the insertion point, and then hover over my midpoint, drag it back until it intersects like that. There we go. Now I know he's nice and pretty and centered. Add a few end tables here. REC, left click just somewhere right now, and I'm going to make this, let's see what's my other corner. Let's go 24, but 18. Yeah, it's not bad. And I'm going to start moving it 2 inches off the corner. Zoom in, pop it in right there. Use my mirror command. Mirror along the bed. There we go. Now, obviously, I'm going to need some doors or a way to get in here. I'm actually not going to put a door in this wall. I'm going to shut this off with curtains. So I'm going to offset 12 inches. And then I'm going to move him down quite a bit. And mirror him across the bed like that. 12 inches may not be enough. Let's go another 12 inches. And this is one of those things that I'm making it up as I go. There we go. That's looking a little better. Take those out. I'm going to offset 2.5 inches. There's a reason I'm going to do this. And now trim out like this. And put that on, and it's not going to be visible there. I'll have to come over here. GNO no plot. I want to see it, but I don't want it to print. All right, that'll do for now. We're going to need a few doors in here. But we'll catch up on the doors here in just a second. I think this is enough to end the first video on. So we're going to pick up right where we left off in the next video.